Hey guys, this is Tarot with Kittens, Weights, and Tarot, and I'm bringing you a Oracle deck review of the John Waterhouse Oracle deck, and this is Tarot by 7. You can find them on their own website, www.tarotby7.com, and you can also find them on Etsy under Tarot by 7, their shop there. So I recently purchased another deck from Tarot by 7 because I was so enamored with this deck that I checked out their shop, and they have a lot of beautiful decks. Their decks are a little bit more expensive, but that's kind of how it is with independent decks, and that's just because you know, they're not mass producing it, so it does cost them a little bit more to have the deck made, have the deck shrink wrapped, or if it's being put in a tuck box or not. There's shipping and all of that. So I do understand that with indie decks, they are going to cost a little bit more than if I went on Amazon and, you know, just picked up a deck. But this deck is well worth it. I don't remember what I paid for it. It was like either 40 or 50. And it didn't come in a box. It doesn't have a guidebook or anything like that. But I will show you what I do have with it. This little bag I purchased myself from somebody else on Etsy, so I placed this deck in here since it was just shrink wrapped. That was it. But here is the title card for it. And it has those beautiful John Waterhouse images that I love. And then you could, at least when I bought it off of Etsy, you could choose from several different backings. And so if you notice, it's one of the paintings that's in the deck. It's just repeated in a pattern. See, here's another image. It's just repeating. Anyway, I think it's awesome, and this was the backing that I chose, obvious. This would be considered, I guess, the guide card. Anyway, it says the Waterhouse Oracle is a melancholy, somber deck with deep emotional currents. Look for the following. So these would be keywords that kind of, I guess, flow through each of the cards. Okay, so let's take a look at them. So I showed you the backing, but this is linen cardstock. I don't remember if I paid for an upgrade like to linen cardstock, but I mean, I use this quite a bit. There's absolutely no chipping or anything. It's beautiful. It's beautiful cardstock. It's nice and thick, but not too thick, and it's not really thin or anything. So I am happy with it. So obviously the images are by John Waterhouse and not by the creator of the deck, but they have added their own flair to it. So kind of putting this kind of antiquing type border around it, you know, and then obviously just creating those lovely backings. So I am happy. Sometimes I like my Oracle decks not to have keywords or numbers or anything, and it just be a picture. And I actually kind of like that there isn't a guidebook. You know, that way I could just let my intuition run wild. You know, and sometimes I need that, where I could just look at the picture and just so much could come out of it. So I dig it. I dig it a lot. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at these. And I actually don't remember how many cards there are. There's probably about, if I'm looking at the thickness, there's probably about 80 cards here. If I were a betting man. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at them. They are just gorgeous. And sometimes when there are indie decks of, you know, images online, or what's that called? You know, like the free images, sometimes they get warped with the cards, like they don't print them right, or they don't Photoshop them right, where they get kind of squished and tall, kind of like if you're watching something widescreen on a non-widescreen television. But I think these came out true to painting form. Lovely amount of work went into this deck. And so, like I said, I'm waiting on another deck that I purchased from Tarot by 7. I actually purchased the Samhain cards. So, not really meant to be an oracle deck. I'm probably going to use it as an oracle deck. It's just meant to be like altar cards or something like that. I would say if you're somebody who loves the Tarot of Delphi deck and that being out of print, and you wanted images that were kind of like from the Tarot of Delphi, or also in, because obviously the people that created Tarot of Delphi did not paint these images, but this could be a nice alternative, if you can't get your hands on that out of print deck. And I think Tarot by 7 does a deck, or maybe it's a different person on Etsy, but they use these same images and they try to almost recreate the Tarot of Delphi as a tarot deck. So may want to go check that out on Etsy. Okay, so while I'm flipping through these, I just want to mention how I actually use this deck. So I could use it as like a regular oracle, but I actually use it for missing items. I know that sounds strange, but when I misplace something or we're looking for something, I find this to be really good for missing items. Like almost like having a conversation. Like I can have a conversation with this deck. So I don't know if this deck's like really connected to my higher self or one of my spirit guides or what, but I can have a pretty good conversation with it, a little back and forth, kind of talky, like what's up, and also like, let's say I misplaced my cell phone or something like that, and I'm like, okay, where's my cell phone? I'm looking here, I'm like, maybe I could have left it by the stairs. It's wherever I was sitting last, it's in a doorway, something like that. And that's kind of how I use this deck. And it's always right. I always find what I need to find. I've even tried to do little finding games with my boyfriend. I'll call him up while he's at work, if I have a day off of work. And I'll be like, do you know where your car keys are? He's like, yes. I'm like, okay, I'm going to use the cards and try to figure out where you've stashed your car keys. Because sometimes he leaves them in his work bag, or they could be in his pocket, or they could be in a number of places. But I try to use the cards to try to figure out like where they are. 9 times out of 10, I'm right. Sometimes he'll tell me, okay, you were wrong. It was actually, out by whatever, and I'll be like, oh, I could have interpreted it that way. Okay, so maybe it's just my bad interpretation. But I think the cards are always spot on. Here we got Odysseus. So let me know in the comment section below if you guys have ever used like oracle cards or tarot cards for something other than what they're normally used for, like missing items, having conversations, using them to connect with elementals or energies or people who have passed away, or anything like that. So because I definitely have special decks for those types of things. Okay, so let's give this a little shuffle. Oops. let's say that's card 1. We'll say this is card 2. And let's say if you're doing a 3-card spread, it would look something like that. Okay, and we'd pull up our cards. Okay, so I think they look beautiful. So again, let me know if you have any questions about this deck, or maybe you have the John Waterhouse deck, or you have a deck that's very similar with similar images, and you know they just reinterpreted them differently, or whatevers. And let me know if when you book a reading with me, if you would like me to use this deck, just let me know upon booking. Everything about my Etsy shop and my website and social media is in the information box below, so definitely go check that out. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to click subscribe, and I will catch you guys later. All right, peace, love, and chicken grease. Peace out.